Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Oosh Bros podcast. I have been away for the last 3 weeks, so we've been neglecting our episodes. For all 9 of you listeners out there, we love each and
Yeah,
every one of you. Okay,
yeah.
me as always, it's your boy BB Malloy, alongside my fabulous co-host and little brother, the wonderful Louis.
Me. Hi. Hi there. It's been a
How's it
minute.
going? It has been a minute, bro. Like it's so I've been in Aussie for the last 2 weeks. Did the theme parks with the kids. Bro, I got a mana wave from Superman.
Good,
No shit. So like
good.
in the end of the day parade, there's like 8 floats or whatever it is. It's like 6 now actually. It's way less than when
Mm,
we were kids. And so
yeah,
I'm standing there with my kids, and one of them decides, you know what? I'm gonna throw one up, see what happens. And the Green Lantern threw one back, and I was like, that's a bit strange. I thought that was just a New Zealand thing. And I was like, sweet. So the parade goes down, goes around the roundabout, and comes back. But because there's only 6 floats, after like 5 minutes, you've seen it. So we were like, let's beat the rush. We'll go out. I don't really care about them coming back through, and we'll just try and beat the traffic. As we're walking past, Superman and Supergirl are on this big ice castle thing, and so
yeah.
me and my
Krypton.
middle daughter, who, yeah, oh yeah, me and my middle daughter, who I won't be naming on the podcast, threw a mana wave at the same time, and Superman threw the filthiest mana wave back in our
Good,
direction.
good.
And honestly, it goes deep, bro. It's
Yeah.
that mana wave culture is not just bound to these shores. Let's say.
No, it's definitely it breaks barriers down, is what it does. Um, it's just something that, like, as much as it's part of the New Zealand culture, it's something that other people have adopted.
Oh
You know,
yeah, for sure. And I
it's
mean,
like
there's
it's like
there's
Angelina
over
Jolie
a
with children from third world countries. It's adopted. You know.
It's yeah. Well, I mean, there's over 100,000. Just like not even New Zealanders. There's 100. Pardon me. There's 100,000 Maori people living in Australia. Not just New Zealand European or whatever. That's 100,000 plus just Maori. Like anyway, so it's yeah. I mean, coming back to these shores, as it were. I mean, the first thing I saw, like when we were doing a little bit of research for this episode, because I haven't really been following the news for a little while, but this one hits so close to home. It's literally a 2 minute drive from my house, and it's whoever managed to get the license, like the Google business address for Rathkill College, has changed the name
Oh, is that
to
this? Yeah, sorry.
bro. It's literally Rathkill, like the
Oh,
Hawk Tour
true.
College of Rizcraft and Sigmetry.
Yeah, it's
Just
it makes me glad that we grew up in a time where those words didn't really exist. You know?
we had our own version of those words, but like what I'm
Yeah,
saying is whoever did it, please don't ever come forward. Live in infamy for the rest of your life
yeah.
in private, but you are
Be
goaded
the
with the
be the
sauce.
New Zealand Banksy. That's what I say. That's art, is what he did.
Oh, that is it
Yeah,
is 21st century art, and this is
yeah,
like it led to a slew of other people getting the business addresses or business emails for their college on Google Maps.
yeah.
And there was one in Napier or somewhere up the east coast that changed theirs to the Yosa Academy, or
That's
Black Power
foul.
Yosa Academy or something. It's so good, bro. Like, it just makes you feel how it makes you wonder how many vulnerabilities there are for people who just aren't in charge of their own SEO. Like,
Yeah,
you know how sometimes you look up Facebook pages and it's like, for us, for instance, it was White Upper College. It is a an SEO generated Facebook page because of how many people looked at that they were trying to find that page on Facebook, that it created one out of the location, and then there was like 2 or 3 likes on it, and then people started creating actual pages for high schools and stuff. Those pages still exist. So if you
yeah,
went back through, you could probably claim those pages with very little resistance and change it to whatever you wanted, and still have that
yeah,
same SEO registry as like White Upper College or whatever. So
yeah.
whoever did this was brilliant, and I sincerely hope that they are just the king of the school playground, if they even have playgrounds at colleges. Nah, not really. That's
No,
kind of lame. I wish they did though. That would have been dope.
probably just ring lights and tripods for TikTok videos. I'd say is probably what's there nowadays.
Yeah, that's pretty fair
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
briefly touching on the subject of TikTok. So I reached out before I went to Australia. I reached out to Australia Zoo, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm traveling all this way. I'm going to see if hey, is Robert or Terry or Bindi available for just a quick picture? If they're just around the park, if they're not around the park, no dramas. Just throwing it out there. Please let me know. And basically, I got back the lovely Charlotte at Australia Zoo. If you're listening, subscribe. But she came back and said it's oh look, they're not at the park on those days. Really sorry, but it's going to be a no from us. And I was like, okay, no worries. And then she said, what's the video about anyway? So I replied with this big paragraph about what the video is about and said, look, it's, the last time I came to Australia Zoo, I saw Steve himself do the Croc Show.
Yes.
I've got, I've got a very deep love for Australia Zoo. It's connected to a lot of very good memories for me as a kid. So, it'd be good to see something come of this. And then they waited until the last possible day and said no. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That's fair. So I rigged up a video anyway. And if you're here from TikTok, I'm sorry to shatter the illusion, but this is what social media is. It's a massive sham. And I made it look like I was going there to get a photo with them, but I already previously knew they weren't going to be available. But that video has actually gained a little bit of traction. I've had a real massive slump the last few weeks or whatever. I haven't had a really good video in a little while, so it's good to see something picking up like that. But yeah, people like to have that sort of wholesome expectation about what they think your content's going to be. But
Yeah.
big up to the Irwins for being way too famous and way too popular to grab a picture with people now. I appreciate that, and I'm sure Steve would be really, really happy that you're making more TV appearances than you are doing anything for conservation in Australia. I'm sure he'd love that. But
Yeah.
enough of me being salty.
Yeah, not salty at all. It's yeah. It comes across
Yeah,
as
he's
valid feedback, criticism of the
I
Irwins.
do feel a bit sorry because they are living in Steve's shadow at the end of the day, aren't they? I don't know if you've seen clips of Robert Irwin, but he is trying desperately to be his old man. And
Oh yeah.
but it's something you can't replicate. And I
Yeah,
feel
he's
like if you are going to do something like that, you should bring your own personality instead of,
yeah.
oh, have a go at this. I had this, one of those, how you just have like bitchy moments and you go through and you hate watch stuff because it makes you feel better about, how cringe it is.
Yeah.
I had this thought process for a little bit where I was like, I bet he sits there with old YouTube videos of his old man and rewinds it and tries to match the cadence. Have a go at
Yeah.
this. Have a go at this. Have a
Yeah.
go at this. And he's trying to replicate it himself so that when he does the Croc Show, the croc you're going to meet today is Snapper. He is 12 feet long and he weighs a metric ton and he has lots of teeth. Have a go at this one. And it's like, okay, buddy. It's, yes, you're in the khaki. Yes, you've got Irwin as your last name, but you're allowed to have your own personality.
Yeah.
Even Bindi was allowed to grow her own personality because she was of a certain age by the time her old man passed away. We're looking at 18 years since he passed, and Robert's got to be 21, 22. So dude probably has one or two in-person memories of his old man. So there's kind of that reflection of him trying to build that persona around his old man's persona, which
Yeah.
kind of sucks. And that's not even coming from a place of saltiness. That's coming from a place of be original, with your existence.
Criticism.
It is constructive criticism. Yes, your last name is Irwin, but that doesn't mean you have to carry any sort of, immediate personality traits, especially if you didn't grow up with the person that you're trying to emulate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a bit weird. I thought I'd touch on that because we were sort of coming off the tail end of the Aussie chat. But coming back to New Zealand, the whole Hock Tour College of Rizcraft and Sigmetry thing, they're actually looking to ban social media for anyone under the age of 16.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
What are your thoughts on that?
Um, it's difficult to have an opinion because when we were 16 or below the age of 16, the only social media we kind of had was Facebook.
I had
Um,
Bebo.
yeah, like Facebook and Bebo. So like they like it was really difficult to advertise. Well, not advertise yourself, but showcase yourself in a way that TikTok allows. So like with Facebook, like I remember personally, I would post pictures of my Farmville, my Petville, you know, all that, use all the
All the
filters, make it,
Vills.
yeah, change my profile picture to see which one was more popular, which one to get more likes. Um, and on Bebo, you would just add games to your home screen. I remember that.
Yeah, pretty
Um,
much. It was a really shitty version of Tumblr where you could just have, that scene in The Simpsons where Homer makes his first website and he just gets a whole bunch of widgets from everyone else's
yeah,
website, and it's
absolutely.
just loud and abrasive. That's
Yeah,
exactly what Bebo was. Like, you
yeah.
pick a theme and it's like, oh, Guitar God theme, and it's just a Les Paul that's like
Yeah,
on fire, and it's like, oh, I'm
yeah.
so deep and I love music. It's like, shut up, bro. You listen to Nickelback and Creed, like.
My the song that would autoplay on my profile was "I Know You Want Me" by Pitbull. I remember that.
That
Great
track's
song.
actually, yeah.
Um,
Like, had you not veered from the social standard, you would have been the most party rocking fuckboy I probably ever would have met. Actually,
yeah, I was a party rocker, that's for sure. But in my
oh yeah,
when I blossomed, but now, like last week, uh, I was playing Animal Crossing, putting some hours in, while watching a
oh my
video about
god,
how the New England Patriots rigged the NFL for 10 years, irrelevant, and I fell asleep. Fell asleep on the couch.
mm.
And then the missus comes out. She's like, "Come to bed." So I go to bed and I immediately fall asleep again. And it just goes to show that I'm now 27 and just feeling it. But I'm not worried. I don't know. Like everything takes a lot of effort, so I'd much rather just
It
put
does.
minimal effort into things.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I get that. I'm in
yeah,
very much the same position. I did find myself, I think, because of the disparity with like body clocks, I found myself up until about 3 o'clock, and then I woke up at 7 o'clock. So
yeah,
there's a little bit of a yeah, there's a little bit of an imbalance there, but I have to kind of get myself back into the rhythm before work on Monday. I mean, who's going to reply to pointless emails and message people back on Teams if I'm
yeah,
not there? Who's going to do that? So yeah, it's
hundred
kind of a
percent.
hard one. But for, actually, jumping to a completely different topic, and this is in the YouTube space. Uh, have you heard KSI's new song?
I have. I've only heard the
And
glimpse. I haven't. I'm not going to listen to the whole thing because only because it ruins me. Because one of my most or one of my favorite YouTube songs was his song "Friends with Benefits." I just thought that was a bit of a bop. It was a solid tune, and now I've listened to this, and it's just awful. It is. It's awful. This someone made a top 10 list of the worst songs of all time, and it was all his new song. From 10 to 1, it was
no,
new song. But like I
but
think
on
now he's realizing that it's terrible. And not only is it like, but that's not the only thing terrible that KSI's done recently. Have you heard about Lunchleys?
oh, bro, we briefly touched on this because I called it
Yeah,
Lunchables in our last episode,
yeah,
but
yeah. So because they're
yeah,
trying
it's
to,
real bad.
yeah. I watched a Curtis Connor podcast today, and he touched on it because it was like they're trying to replace Lunchables by claiming that there's you get more liquid from a prime drink, there's less calories, less grams of fat, and more food. Um, and then uh, and then Dan TDM, if you've heard of him,
Yes.
so yeah, he called them out. Something about YouTubers doing food, but it's like it's not for the passion, it's for the money. Then Logan Paul responded and said, um, this. Oh, he said, yeah. So Dan TDM said, "This is what YouTubers are doing nowadays," and Logan Paul said, "Yes, building a business." And then he goes on a different point, and he's like, "Oh, so you don't want to mention that Lunchables were found to have lead in their meals, but you don't want to mention that." And it's like, okay, so do Lunchleys, dude. It's been proven that lead is also in
Yeah,
Lunchleys.
but it's like people. He threw that argument back like lead, like the actual metal. Like
Yeah,
there was not just like trace elements, but a heap of it. There's
yeah,
unfortunately in a lot of American products, there's lead in most things. Like when you
yeah.
were over there recently, you probably would have consumed lead at some stage.
It
Like
was
it's
delicious.
just a fact. Oh, that's why we all have plastic in our testicles. There's
Mm,
trace amounts of everything and everything now. The world's
yeah,
too big and it's too developed for us not to be harmed by these, byproducts of what's going
yeah.
on. Further to the Logan Paul thing, Tommy Innit called him out
Good.
and about Lunchleys as well. And then Logan Paul is like sharing screenshots of private conversations between him and Tommy Innit. And like from a year ago, being like, "Oh, he's only mad because I've been neglecting him. Sorry, I didn't want to hang out with you, bro." And like, is just being a fucking child about it. And Tommy Innett's come back and there's a screenshot of a message from like yesterday or something, and it's like,
Yeah.
"Give me, please answer my calls. We should settle this like men." And
Oh,
he
so he's gone off for a
screenshotted that
boxing match.
message. No, no, no. Like well, Tommy Innit weighs like the same as a bag of flour. Like it wouldn't be a
Yeah,
boxing match; it'd be a practice pad. So like it's Tommy Innit has shared the screenshot and shared it on Twitter and said, "This has got to be a joke. Please leave me alone, you child," or something like that.
yeah.
But it's so strange. The whole concept of it's really dumb. Mr. Beast is like somehow falling back into like the backstage. Like he's all the heat's gone off him for some reason. He's paid a lot of people off. He tried to pay Jake Weddle off, and Weddle didn't want the money. And he's paid off quite a few people that are like were coming after him. So he's
Mm,
managed to fade himself back into obscurity, which is
yeah.
a little bit troubling as well. But yeah, the whole KSI Logan Paul Mr. Beast situation. It's just like I feel like they're getting a little bit too big for their station,
Oh,
and
they've
that's
been
obviously
doing that
coming
for the
from like
last since KSI fought Joe Weller and then offered a boxing match to any of the Paul brothers. That's when they got too big for their boots.
yeah.
100%. Like have
Well, I
like
mean,
I
like
remember watching the Sidemen. When I first watched the full Sidemen, it was a Pro Clubs episode, and it was awesome because it was just like seven. It was six at the time. It was six dudes hanging out playing Pro Clubs and calling each other gay, which was really funny because Ethan, who isn't gay, was terrified of people calling him gay. But anyway, um,
yeah,
ever since that, they've just been getting bigger and bigger and thinking they're the most popular celebrities when they're just the biggest scammers. Um,
yeah.
like speaking of scammers, I got my CoffeeZilla shirt today.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, it is fantastic. I put it on straight away at work when I got it. Um,
I would get you to show me, but I can only see like you look like a Picasso painting right now. There's like 8 pixels on screen, and I
I
think
am
two of
art.
them are
I
your
am
eyes.
art. So,
Yeah, I am a
um,
work of art.
so about a random Tommy Innit point. Have you heard of a YouTuber called Jay Schlatt?
Yeah. Oh, bro, absolutely. I love
Okay,
Jay
good.
Schlatt.
So there's
Big
a
up
video.
Dinosaur Dan on. Big up Dinosaur Dan 21 on Twitch. He put me on to Jay Schlatt.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, Jay Schlatt cracks me up. There was because there was a video when he came back to Twitch after leaving for a while because he got kicked off of an SMP because apparently he was too mean or something. So then he bans everyone that's he bans all like the Carl Jacob and Dream stands off his stream. Then he
Yeah.
jumps in a Discord call with Tommy Innit, who actually ordered him some stuff off Amazon, and it's really funny to watch because he got him like a big replica tiger. What else did he get him? He got him like a toaster, but it's like it's one of the best toasters I've ever seen because it's not like you don't put the bread in, like you don't slide the bread in. It's like a toasty maker. You just like put it down and it
Okay.
like perfectly grills. Oh, but yeah, random Tommy in a
Random
tangent
as.
there.
Oh well, I mean, speaking of streamers, currently iShowSpeed is right in the middle of his Guinness World Record attempt of the most backflips in 24 hours. I went and checked on the
I
stream
didn't
just
even know
before I
that was a
jumped on
thing.
here. Yeah, bro. Yeah, so he is currently 660 something backflips into his attempt.
Ugh.
There's just over 1,000 from memory in 24 hours, and at the moment he's sleeping, but he's still got like 7.5 hours left on his stream. So there's a pretty good chance he's going to beat it.
Yeah.
Jake Paul called through and sent a massage therapist to his house to like get rid of some of the lactic acid and stuff.
Mm.
Which I mean, like, Jake Paul's Jake Paul, an absolute idiot, and I really hope Mike Tyson teaches him a very, very valuable lesson.
Yeah,
But
honestly,
that was a good bastard move, to be honest.
it's a lose-lose situation for Jake Paul regarding the fight, because if he wins, he beat a 50 plus Mike Tyson. Like,
Yeah.
who did that? Leon? No, it wasn't Leon Spinks. It was someone else. Leon, yeah, a boxer did
No,
that
it
to
was. It
Muhammad
was
Ali.
Leon Spinks.
Leon
Yeah,
Spinks
Leon
at the
Spinks beat
very
up
end of
Muhammad
Muhammad
Ali.
Ali's career.
That's right.
He did that, so it's gonna. And people hated Leon Spinks at the time. I remember
People still
watch.
do.
I thought he was awesome in the documentary when he talked about having peanut butter sandwiches, and he said,
Oh yeah, because he's
yeah,
got like
he's got like three teeth.
4 teeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Um,
man, big up Leon
but yeah,
Spinks.
so yeah, if he beats Mike Tyson, he's beat a 50-year-old man. Whoop de doo. But if he loses,
Mm.
he's lost to a 50-year-old Mike Tyson. You know, like he's
Yeah, but like
um
I could train for the next year after not boxing for like 20 plus years. I could train for the next year, get fit, like, get my technique back, all that stuff, and I would still get the living shit kicked out of me by Mike Tyson. I
yeah,
charge any boxer at any form of their life to go up against a fully fit Mike Tyson, 50 plus or not. You are still going to get your shit rocked. He is one of the hardest hitters in the history of heavyweight boxing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I just, yeah, like watching him train reminded me of watching George Foreman train before the Thriller in Manila. Like, obviously, I wasn't
yeah,
there. It's reruns and, like, I'm watching their tech and trying to bring it to my own game at the time. But watching George Foreman like fold heavy bags in half with how hard he was hitting, Mike Tyson's still doing that shit at 50 plus. Like, he's an
yeah,
old school boxer. Like, it's if Jake Paul manages to beat him in some capacity, um, I am going to be just absolutely blown away. It won't make me a fan. Nothing will
no,
ever make me a fan of that absolute joke.
I reckon
But
I reckon there'll be accusations of him paying off Mike Tyson, because there's been
if he
all those
wins,
like allegations for his past fights. Because I looked up his boxing record, and I know he's definitely fought some like decent boxers.
yeah,
I mean, he lost to Tommy Fury. But he's boxed MMA fighters, and boxing
yeah,
isn't
like retired
their
MMA fighters as well.
yeah, but boxing isn't their chosen art. But he celebrates like he's conquered the world. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
like
you've
it's
challenged someone to a fight that hasn't, like, that doesn't box, that does MMA, that does mixed martial
yeah,
arts. You
exactly.
absolute
I mean,
goon.
like he fought. Did he fight Nate Diaz and he won? And Nate Diaz is not a boxer. Like, Nate Diaz was Brazilian jiu-jitsu and kickboxing, and he fought that basketballer who played for the Celtics or might still play for the Celtics, Blake. He doesn't play enough for me to care about him. So, like, Blake somebody.
Not Blake
But Blake
Griffin.
got the shit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he fought Blake Griffin.
What?
Yeah,
Not Blake
I'm
Griffin. He
bro.
has too much
Google
pride.
that shit. Google it. Google it. I'm
Blake
sure he
Griffin.
fought Blake Griffin or someone
Close.
or another light skinned ginger African American guy, but I'm pretty sure it was Blake Griffin.
Jake Paul is a wanker.
Autocorrect.
But speaking of, no. Okay, no.
No.
So it's no. It's No, he probably bought something. He fought someone else. Speaking of streamers,
Who the hell
because
looks
I've had
like
enough of
Blake
Jake Paul.
Griffin?
I looked it up and like the only thing that comes up is Blake Griffin highlights, which I will watch later on.
Weird. I must have had a
Um,
fever dream about that. I'm sure Blake Griffin's done like a charity boxing match where he got the shit kicked out of him. Anyway, speaking of
um,
streamers,
uh, Jack Doherty crashes McLaren.
that was literally the next thing on my notes list.
Oh,
Two
that is
hundred
it
thousand
was
dollar McLaren on stream, live on
yeah
Kick. You
so frustrating to
absolute
watch
dickhead.
because
Oh
not only was he filming himself driving while texting and speeding in the rain,
yeah,
so now he won't be able to claim insurance back on that. His friend also required stitches, but he said, "Here, hold this. We need to record this for content." Um,
oh, bro, like yeah, his cameraman broke his arm, and he's still like
yeah,
handing him the phone, being like, "Film
yeah,
this, film
hold
this."
this. And then he took his
Yeah,
shirt off. And then yeah, it's like it's. I'm hoping this is the beginning of the downfall because like that guy pisses me off to no extent. Like he'll like his IRL streams where he'll like bump into people and then start a fight and then his bodyguard walks in the way. It's like
yeah,
no,
it's
you're
that's the
not
kind
funny.
of
You're not being a man. You're a little bitch who
no.
needs to be put in his place. All right, you
It's
can't
the
start fights
public
and then have someone
nuisance.
walk in front of you.
Yeah, it's the public
Passionate.
nuisance IRL streamers that absolutely make me lose my fucking mind. Like, I
Mm.
like Speed used to be like that. He used to be a real pain in the ass, and he got to a point where his fame kind of humbled him out. Like, he can still act out and be an idiot in private, same way Kai Cenat does. Like, setting off a bunch of fireworks in his fake room that Mr. Beast helped set up or whatever. Just, those aren't public nuisance streams. They're doing a lot for clickbait and whatever else.
Mm.
But in private, they do wild stuff. Makes sense. That's your own private space. You do in there what you will. But out in public, he's too famous now that he can't be a nuisance without
Yeah,
getting in trouble. So people like Jack Doherty, who are still like they're not household names. I would argue that iShowSpeed is a household name. Like my kids would never
yeah.
have seen a stream, but I could go inside right now and be like, "Do you know who iShowSpeed is?" And one of them will go Suey because they would have seen it on a
Oh,
YouTube short. They would have seen it.
I thought they'd start barking.
No, no, I don't think they're recent fans, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, they would have. Yeah, what like I can almost guarantee one of them would be like Cristiano Ronaldo, Suey,
Yeah.
like, and it would
Silly.
just be Suey. Um, but yeah, so it's IRL streamers give me the screaming shits, and this dude obviously got his comeuppance. He's been permabanned from Kick. Pretty sure he was
Yeah.
already banned from Twitch for his IRL BS, and YouTube
Yeah.
just won't have him. After
Yeah.
after that's done, YouTube just won't have him. Like, I think Speed had to go to the board at YouTube and essentially beg them to let him stream.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if we just don't see Jack Doherty again. And I
Oh,
would never.
the world would be
I
a
don't
better
think I'd
place.
ever. I feel so. I feel that too. Actually, if he just did his own thing. I mean, speaking of streamers, I got a little bit of gaming news. Have you got much gaming news?
Oh man, I've got some gaming news.
Ish. Okay, so my first thing, they've released the shorts for Halo Master Chief and Unreal Engine 5. Have you seen that?
Yeah, well, because that's one of the pieces of news I was going to touch on was
Right.
so they've renamed 343 Studios to Halo Studios, and
Yeah,
now
I
they're
saw
going to
that.
develop future Halo games with Unreal Engine 5 because their Slip Space engine that they were using for Infinite was trash. So now they're
Yeah,
moving to Unreal Engine 5, which means they'll be able to develop better games for the franchise. I saw the
they
announcement
should have
this
done that
morning
in the first
actually.
place. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
so the shorts they've released for Master Chief, if you can
I have
play it
watched some of
on
them. Yeah,
a, if you can play it on a heavy duty enough machine, I reckon if they don't fumble this like they've done in previous games, if they don't fumble this, they could potentially have one of the best online
mm,
um like multiplayer games in history. Like it could outdo Fortnite, it could outdo Call of Duty. Like
Mm.
it has the capacity to do that. They just
Yeah,
can't fumble this bag.
yeah.
Like
Because uh, shout out to Big Boss for the Halo videos. Because the guy that's like heading the studio now is the guy that headed the rehaul of the Master Chief collection. Because when that was
yeah,
released, it was in the most broken state. Like you couldn't like there was too many bugs, too many glitches. You couldn't play. You couldn't even find a match after days. So then he reworked that. He basically got that thing back together, and now he's the head of the studio. So
yeah,
I
good.
can definitely see it doing really well. Um, but some more important gaming news, in my humble opinion, some sad news.
Oh,
Simpsons tapped out,
oh
is
no, I
shutting
saw
down,
this.
shutting
Yeah.
down. But
Oh man.
uh, so it's real. I'm actually quite upset because I've put hours into that game.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
probably days, months even.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just sad because I've like so they're removing it from the app stores at the end of this month, but the servers will stay online until the end of January, which is good because
Yeah.
already have it installed. And the best part is the to buy the donuts, the premium currency, as Homer says in the game, it costs in-game money, not actual real life cash. So now you just have to do enough jobs with enough characters to get all the money so you can buy more donuts and then buy more characters. So
I
that's what
wonder if
I've been
my
doing for the
world still
past few
exists.
days. Yeah, it should
Yeah,
do.
because you remember I found that glitch, and every 24-hour cycle I would get something like 50,000 donuts. So I started just buying up everything I possibly
I do.
could.
I'm pretty sure it was jailbroken or it was something like
But
that.
yeah, well yeah, I managed to jailbreak my account for Tapped Out. And
Yeah,
I just cheated my way to it, but I had all the best stuff and I was like, "You know what?
yeah,
I'm going to build a an in series realistic version of Springfield because
yeah,
I have this many donuts." And I must have sunk like even though I had all the donuts to get it done, it still requires a metric shitload of time. So yeah, I don't know if I sunk days into it, but I definitely sunk quite a few hours into it, trying to
yeah.
get it as realistic as possible, and then try to do side missions whenever I got bored and stuff. So I mean, if it's
Mm.
still available in the App Store until the end of this month, I might have to give it a quick jam
Yeah.
before she shuts down, just for old time's sake, and then salute it as the servers go offline at the end of
I'm
January.
on it. I don't think I'm going to be ready for that day because that game is so special to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, some news that might make you a little bit happy though. Ubisoft have announced they are going to be releasing an Assassin's Creed game, two Assassin's Creed games, every year for the next 5 years. Apparently going to be 10 AC games coming out as of like 25 to 30, like 2025 to 2030.
I'm conflicted on that, and I'll tell you
Why is
why.
that?
Because the last decent Assassin's Creed game was AC Origins.
Agreed.
I've put at least 70 to 80 hours into AC Odyssey, and I enjoy that game, but it's a slog. AC Valhalla I can't get. I put an hour into and I get bored because it's just such a it's worse than a slog. It's just awful. And I haven't played AC Mirage, um, only because what I've heard they tried to do was take it back to like the OG Assassin's Creed, which is fun, which is what everyone wants. Um, but like I just don't think they've done enough to sort of pique my interest.
Yeah.
And they're also with the whole how they're selling their games. So like you need a subscription service to actually own Ubisoft games in the near future.
Okay.
Um, which is rough because I'm an avid Division player. I love those games. So it's like when Division 3 comes out, it's like I don't want to have to purchase a monthly subscription just to fucking play the games. I should be able to buy it and then own it.
That's how. Yeah.
So
That's how a video game transaction should work
yeah.
and has
So
worked
two
for the
so
last
two a
40
year
years.
2 a year just tells me that they're desperate. They're going to be terrible because they're going to be crunching hours. Like it's yeah. I'm just not looking. Yeah, if that happens, Oh, I'll watch some gameplay, but I don't think I'll buy anything. Um,
No, that's a fair shout. So for me, like, uh, and I'm probably gonna fumble it here, but Assassin's Creed Black Flag,
yeah,
yeah, was my all-time AC game. Like, I
good game.
tried with Origins, I tried with Valhalla. Valhalla smacked of God of War to me, and I found it hard to get over that hurdle.
Mm,
But Black Flag felt wholly original to me. And plus,
yeah,
I'm a big trilogies guy. I love Planet of the Apes. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, I will sit there and watch multiple movies in a row. And during my formative years, Pirates of the Caribbean was always there for me as
yeah,
an avid content absorber. So like being able to sort of have that um that sort of role playing game in the sense that you could sort of do like piratey things akin to what was in the Pirates of the Caribbean was always really cool, and it kept me interested. I still need to try. Um, what's it called? No, I've lost it. I was gonna. It was one of the AC games, one of the the less recent AC games that I've been told to go and try. But um,
well, is it Assassin's Creed 3 during the American Revolution?
actually, yeah, I think it is because you had that
Great
statue
game.
for it. Yeah,
I did.
yeah,
I have,
that
so
was
I got rid of it because it was broken, but I have his little tomahawk still because that is special to me because I pre-ordered that edition to
yeah. I
get the
remember. I remember you
statue.
jumping up and down on the spot when it turned up.
Oh, what a great game too!
Simpler
Because I had
times.
it on Xbox 360 and it required 2 discs. I remember that.
Yeah.
But oh, what a fantastic game! Just because I'm a I'm a huge fan of American history. I think it is there. It is so interesting. Like I've been listening to podcasts recently about like American elections. So from like the very
Oh yeah.
first one where Washington was unanimously voted in to James Monroe who ran unopposed in like 1812, and now I'm up to Andrew Jackson versus John Quincy Adams when it was like the start of the Democratic versus Republic.
Wow.
Um, like political battles. But yeah, what a fantastic game. Yeah, my all time AC game is AC Brotherhood, hands down. That shit slaps
Yeah.
hard.
Um, Speaking briefly about American politics, we are not far out from Election Day over in the States.
Yeah.
And obviously, Donald Trump has gone on to Logan Paul's podcast. And
Ooh.
most recently, Kamala Harris has been on Call Her Daddy.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's I don't know if the episode itself is worth watching. Like she seems real down to earth and stuff, and she talks about how progressive her family is. Apparently her kids call her Mamala instead
That's
of Mum.
hilarious.
It's
I
kind of
would do
clever,
that.
really, isn't it? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of clever. But so it's like obviously we don't have a horse in the race. We can't vote. My guitarist Brian, being an expat, is technically allowed to vote. And he doesn't strike me as a Trump guy, so we'll see how that goes. But like,
I mean,
there
people
have been
can be
multiple.
deceiving.
He's pretty liberal. Like yeah. Brian's pretty liberal, man. Like,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, yeah. I was about to say I was about to make an admission on his behalf, but that's not for me to say on
Right.
a public platform.
You'll tell me later.
Anyway, yeah. And yeah, so I mean, like, there's been multiple articles written about how the Australian and New Zealand economies are more than likely going to crash even harder if Trump gains presidency. Something to do with trade deals in China because he's looking to like back that off pretty much completely,
Yeah.
which then affects our relationship with them and stuff because there's some sort of accord. Blah 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 blah. So look, I'm gonna say we have no stake, no horse in this race, but I'm still of the firm opinion that America's looking down the barrel of their first woman president.
I'd hope so.
And I've got my fingers crossed that that is the case.
Yeah. Because Megan the Stallion, this was a Kamala Harris rally. This happened, I think, maybe a couple months ago now. But Megan the Stallion was on there, and she said hotties for Harris. So consider me voting for Kamala Harris.
Well, they tried to
Because
do
I
that
myself
AI
am a
campaign
hottie.
of Swifties for Trump. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Because she came out because that was all AI generated. Then Taylor Swift actually came out and said, "No, I'm actually voting for Kamala Harris because I believe she's not insane." And then
Yeah,
Trump got mad. It's like, Brev, you literally tried to AI generate yourself Taylor Swift support. You
yeah.
know?
But not only that, obviously taking away reproductive rights from women is the
Yeah.
one of the biggest things. And then
He has no
in
policies.
no, he has no policies. He has
No
what was it? Concepts of plans or whatever the fuck
concepts of
he
a
said.
plan.
Yeah, and and I mean, like secondary to the reproductive rights for women, right? He
Mm.
a bold faced lie. He said on television during a presidential debate that babies were being terminated after a 9 month term, and then the moderator just straight off the bat was like, "Mr. Trump, they are not killing newborn babies.
Yeah,
Nowhere in any state will they allow the killing of newborn babies. That was a lie." And
it
he
was
was
really
like,
funny. Sorry,
"That
go
was
on.
not what I said." Like, but that was he tries to deflect straight away, and then it's
Yeah,
as soon as he gets backed into a corner, and it's like, "Oh, there's Haitians eating house pets." It's like, bro,
yeah,
what are you doing? Like, you're just digging that hole so much deeper.
yeah. Because every time he's asked a question about what his policies are, like on housing or like homelessness and poverty, he'll never answer it. He'll deflect to like, "Oh, Kamala Harris has no idea what she would do with those things." It's a great. Thank you for asking that question. It's a very, it's Mayor Adam West from Family Guy. It's
Yeah,
not answering the question, but it's like, thank you for asking that question. You are a great American. I don't think my opponent would be able to answer that question like I'm doing right now. So thank you very much. And then
yeah.
it would just be that, yeah. Um,
No, it's the same as the campaign. Like Will Ferrell
mm,
gives him the old DC dip and twirl. It's just like,
yeah,
that's a great question. Thank you for asking it.
yeah.
So
Welcome to the
we're
fucking
looking
show.
at yeah. Welcome to the fucking show. Um, I gotta go. I gotta go rewatch that. They
Yeah,
thought
man,
I
that was
had
so fucking
Crohn's
good.
disease. I crapped gold, and he's just
Yeah. Oh
maybe me and
fuck!
Shayna could
I remember watching that
meet
for
at
the
a.
first time on my old Toshiba laptop
Oh, bro,
after
me,
downloading it.
yeah, me and Sheena, maybe we could meet at an airport Denny's bathroom and lick each other's buttholes. Like it
Yeah,
gets real deep, eh?
yeah.
If it's any consolation, that baby had an iron jaw. It hurt my hand.
Yeah. Is anyone asked how my hand was?
After the iron-like jaw of that baby.
Oh,
Um,
so um here's some more news. I've got some things going on here. Um have you seen that the TUI billboards are back?
no, like the ones with the
So
chicks on them, or the
no.
yeah rights.
So the ones that say they'll have a phrase and they'll say yeah right.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't seen that they're
So
back, but I remember them.
yeah, so they're back. I saw one this morning on the bus to work. Um it said that's the last of the Hollywood sex pest. Yeah, right. Was the billboard,
Wow,
which I'm not going to drink Tui because I'm a Waikato draft man through and through. But I thought
absolutely.
that was hilarious. There was another one, the one that piqued my interest, and I saw on Reddit, and it was something about welcome back to this New Zealand town. With all like, oh, I can't wait to be like a crack whore again or something, and it said, yeah, right.
Oh no way.
So I immediately thought of Auckland. Um, but yeah, fuck, that just made me laugh so much.
Oh god.
Yeah, so I'm
Oh,
I'm
I did
glad they're
have.
back. Go on then.
Sorry, I was just going to say I did have one more piece of gaming news before we
Yeah,
move on to world news. Is Counter Strike has officially reached 3.6 million bans since 2020.
good.
Like they've banned 3.6 million people since 2020 because they've made hacking so easy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's crazy. That
I
is
haven't played
crazy. I'm
CS
I'm more
and
of a I'm a TF2 man myself. I'll be honest.
yeah, I haven't
Um,
played CS since like high school.
yeah, TF2
Yeah.
is where it's at Pyro is the ideal class.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I mean, like, look, I'll be
yeah,
completely honest. Especially recently, has been Spider-Man 2 and FIFA, like pretty exclusively.
yeah. I
I even went as far as to download wrestling, like WWE 2K24, because it's part
yeah,
of the essentials for this month.
yeah.
And I'm sitting there
Cody
trying to.
Rhodes, WWE champion.
Oh yeah, no
Isn't
one
that
saw that coming.
insane? I remember disliking him severely
Yeah,
because
he's a
he was
Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes' kid, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
and well, I mean,
but
no,
now he's
technically
like,
he's Dust. He was Dustin Rhodes' kid, right? Like, so
oh, sorry,
yeah, so he was Sting's kid, and I'm pretty sure Sting was Dusty Rhodes' kid. There's like
Sting,
three generations. Yeah,
top five of all time.
was it Sting? No, Goldust. Was it the same person? No, I don't think it was the
Nah,
same person.
Goldust
I
and
never
Sting were
watched
different.
'90s.
Sting.
Right.
Sting had the white and black face paint.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
Goldust was gold.
yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
Sting
can't remember.
top five
I
of
have
all.
to look it up.
Yeah, Sting is top five of all time, hands down.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Um,
and Stone Cold
but
Steve
yeah,
Austin
so
is the best.
I was sitting there trying to like muscle my way through a game last night and thinking to myself how this like we would think about this at school. Like we'd like all
Yeah,
we would want to do is come home and play WWE
and play.
SmackDown versus Raw 2008 on PS2. That was all we wanted to do.
Yep.
And then I tried to muscle my way through a match last night, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, and I hated every second of it. I'm
Yeah, it's
probably
just
going to
not.
delete
It's
it off
just
my
not it.
PlayStation later. Oh, it's not the one, bro. It's not the one.
Actually, that reminds me, I need to get you over because now on I have emulators on my PC. Not only can we play the WWE games, but we can play FIFA Street too.
Bro, and you have to make sure you can get NBA ballers as well.
Yeah, I can. I was playing FIFA Street 2, and I got super nostalgic because, like the first, the first cutscene of like the Rule the Streets campaign, and it's like you're just walking down with your phone, and then there's like Cristiano Ronaldo, Beckenbauer, and I think it's not Dida, it's another famous goalkeeper from the time, and they're like needing another player, and they look at you, and it's just you standing there, and you look like over your shoulders like me, and then yeah,
Yeah.
and it's fucking
Oh
awesome.
man. Honestly,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm down for that. Like
yeah,
you
hop
know
around.
that I'm a sucker for nostalgia.
Yeah,
Anyone who's seen my YouTube channel or any of my channels actually will know that
mm,
all the crazy crap I have in the backgrounds is all just nostalgia bait for
yeah,
me, myself, and I. I don't give a shit what anyone else likes. This is
yeah,
all for me.
yeah. No,
Um,
for me recently in terms of gaming, I've got back into Animal Crossing.
yep.
Um, I've spent hundreds of hours on that game. What else? I may have got EAFC 25. Um,
You're a shill. You're an
I hate
absolute
it.
fucking shill.
I
Oh,
okay.
really?
Hear me out. I despise it. I played a bit of Ultimate Team. My internet's too terrible to play online, so I just played squad battles. Um, then I jumped into manager mode. Um, like for me, uh, the passing is just as bad, if not worse. I've had the same complaints since FIFA 17. The passing is bad, if not worse. The defending is non-existent. Um, they the defenders will track back, but they won't mark. So they'll trot
Yeah.
back, allow the opponent to get a shot on goal. You can barely score from outside the box nowadays. Um, there's like to me, there's just no point in playing the game because you just like it's just like mainly the defense. Like the attack's fine, but you have to make sure that you get in the 16 yard box. No, 18-yard box
Mm.
at all times. You can't shoot from outside the box because it'll get saved. Corners are worse because like every time you try to direct the header into the goal, it goes almost out for a throw in. I could go on, so I deleted it.
Oh
I just
wow.
yeah. I got so
Like
I
deleted it
just
and
got
got your money back, or
no, I just deleted it off the Xbox because it's like it's just so anger inducing. Like it just doesn't make any
how much
sense how they can ruin it.
did you pay for it and you've just deleted it off the Xbox? No questions
Well, I
asked.
still no, because I still have it in my Xbox library, so I can. I'm not sure. I've never asked for a refund for a game,
Ask for one.
so
Fuck them. Like if it's that bad, then fuck
yeah.
them. Like, for me, it's been EA FC 24 pretty consistently. Um, I'm having like at least with 24, you could still shoot from outside the box. Like the power shots, if
Mm,
you angle them right, can be absolute screamers. Tony Cruz takes all of my free kicks in Ultimate Team,
yeah,
which is just a cheat code basically. I call a another player closer with R1, pass it to him, he passes it back to me. I dribble it to the edge of the 18, and then I hit a power shot. And 9 times out of 10, I'm banging one in the back of the net. Like Tony
yeah.
Cruz is a mad cheat code for power shots. Um, I am going to start a manager mode campaign soon, but Ultimate Team has been my go-to recently. I've just been grinding, doing SBCs and
Yeah.
like lots of squad battles. I keep getting my absolute hiney handed to me online. Like it's bad. It's Division Rivals is bad. It's
Do you
I
want
did
to
have
say what division you're in?
9.
Yeah.
9.
I
It's
mean,
bad.
I'm not
Uh,
sure if I've mentioned it before, but I've made it to Division One, FIFA 15. No big deal, you know. What a day. Oh man, I
so
remember
there,
I
there
had
was a
a
guy
hefty
that
wank.
there was a guy
Sorry.
blowing past that completely. There was a guy last night who went 3-0 up and then was taking the piss out of me, like juggling the ball and like doing all the tricks and stuff that you
Yeah.
can get. Like, you go and look at the TikToks or the YouTube shorts or whatever, how to do tricks on FIFA. And he's like doing these tricks and being an asshole. So I locked in and I ended up beating him 4-3. And at like 86 minutes, the pause was scheduled, so I kicked the ball out and he left the game. And I was just
Good.
sitting there like, mm, no
Yeah.
one else but me in the room, just giving it large,
Yeah.
bro. Like, oh,
Yeah.
because you just like no one can hear you, but you're sitting there talking to your TV, like, oh, what happened? What happened, brother? Where'd you go,
Yeah.
brother? Like,
Yeah.
absolutely talking yourself up like a criminal,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that was all I had for gaming. Some of the world news has been really weird.
Oh, I
Apparently
thought we were
King
going to go to
Charles.
music news.
Oh, I didn't have anything for music news.
The Sacred Soul's new album.
Oh yeah, when did that come out?
The other day.
Oosh, did you listen to it? Is it any good, or are we just
Absolutely.
listing things that happened?
No, yeah, we are. No, honestly, I really enjoyed it. Have you heard? You probably have Lee Fields and the Expressions.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's very. It gives me those kind of vibes.
Okay, then it's definitely worth a
Like
listen for
very
me for sure.
slow and soulful soul.
Nice.
But yeah, and I love. I can't remember the name. I've listened to a whole lot of Lee Fields, but I can't remember the name of the album. It reminds me of the most. Um, but yeah, I thought it was a great album. And I was like, it's about fucking time they released another album because I was,
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love listening to their first album, I was like, you know, I need something new, something tasteful.
There's only so many times you can listen to "Can I Call You Rose" and "Easier Said Than Done" and all of those bang diddly angers
For
over and
me,
over again before you go, can you give me
Future
something new,
Lover,
please? Oh yeah,
Future
"Future
Lover
Love" is a great
is
song.
just because not only does it start with the knock, but
Someone's at the door. Yeah, it's a tune.
who
The
is it? Yeah.
the Dip released a new album as well. In the last sort of couple of weeks or so, it's not bad. It's not
The who?
bad. The Dip.
Oh, okay.
Not heard of them?
No, maybe.
Um, God, I covered one of their songs when we opened for Stan Walker last year. It was they're a great band. I love them to pieces. But
Mm.
new album's okay. It's got a couple of really good songs on it, but the rest of it's pretty trash. Paddle to the Stars, their previous album, if it was called Paddle to the Stars, that was the main song off it. That was incredible. Um, Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, their most recent album, is in my most listened to for 2024 already.
Good.
A shocking amount of streams on that album. Like, there's maybe one or two songs that I skip, and that's if I'm not in the mood for them. Other than that, I will
Yeah.
listen to all 12 tracks over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, I have a serious problem.
I'm currently at 112,000 minutes for the year.
Still going.
My most listened to track is Mr. Sticks. So I'm still waiting on that free merch.
Keep waiting.
Kendrick Lamar still number one. Pink Floyd at number two. Because I've been smashing them out recently.
Bro, they've just sold their catalog. Like, so their music rights don't belong to them anymore. They sold them for £400 million.
Get that bag, David.
Oh, bro, and Roger and
Roger.
David, Nick
It's
Mason.
David
Get that
Gilmour,
bag, King. Yeah, David Gilmour, Roger Waters, Nick Mason, and someone else. Because they're what was their original lead singer's name? He was bipolar and a heroin addict and absolutely out of his fucking mind. Sid something. I
Keep
should know,
talking. I gotta
but
go
I've
for
just-
a piss.
All right.
It in. Oh,
So-
I just realized you're on the AirPod.
Oh yeah, so you're going to be able to hear me, but they're not going to be able to hear you.
I'll mute it so you don't hear me tinkling.
So I feel like at this point in the podcast, it'd be a really good time to make an admission. So for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I have been in Australia. Although I had a really, really good time, it is fantastic to be home, don't get me wrong, and we are going to try and make this as weekly as humanly possible. Obviously, we lead busy lives. Like this weekend, I am playing a gig with the Dead Zephyrs down in Wellington at Meow Bar on Edward Street for any of you local fans and followers. So it's me and the boys and Electric Tapestry and Mr. Unit and Dave and the Dirty Humans. Four very, very cool bands. And I've never played Meow before, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be dope. There's actually got quite a few gigs coming up in the next few weeks to months. End of October, I am playing at Lovelands in Porirua, which is like a private gig, but we're playing with a band from Wellington called Strike Master, who apparently haven't been together in like 10 years or something, and a bit of a buzz going on around that. Also, Mr. Unit playing at that show, and the fourth band escapes me right now. If you are listening, I'm very sorry. November 2nd, here in our hometown of Masterton, we are playing at Farrier's, which a lot of local musicians are apparently quite upset about because they didn't know that Farrier's was an option for a venue. So we've got a few people that are in their feels about that, from what I've heard through the grapevine, as it were. But not every band can be the Dead Zephyrs. And so we're going to bring Bad Schematics and Kakoa Nashi over from Palmy for that one, and then we're getting local heavyweights Rampage to come through and slay their action as well. They're in the studio this week. Shout out to the Rampage boys. And then last gig on the list I've got coming up is the Nui Hui in Wainui Amata, and that's sort of a festival over in Wainui that we're really looking forward to playing. But yeah, all in all, just some really good gigs coming up for the Dead Zephyrs.
How much
of content
tickets
coming out for the... What's that?
for this one? How much are tickets for the one this weekend?
They're available on MoshTix, but I think they're doing them for 15.
Could you get me in for free? Sure.
I probably could, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
We're already donating. We're already donating all of our proceeds to go to the Meow Nui, which is the slightly bigger venue that Meow are opening. They had their entire backline stolen because someone forgot to lock the door or something. So we're donating the proceeds from this weekend to them, and then we got hit up for like a promo fee or something as well, which was like, so it was like, hey, donate anything you make from this weekend. They asked us to be completely fair. They asked us if we would, but it's kind of a dick move if you don't, like, hey, do you
Yeah.
want to make this donation? And like you be the one band that goes, oh no, we don't want to do that. You know, like you don't want to be that asshole. So we were
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, sweet as.
We're
And
all
then like a
poor.
week later, bad form, Peter, bad form. Um, and then like 2 weeks later or a week later, I get a text saying, hey, we've put this much into promo. It's like $40 per band or whatever it is. I'm like, okay, that's fine. You're like, but we also have to pay for gas to get to Welly. There's also like all of that stuff in the background. Like we've got to take a night. We're not staying over there the night we're driving back, but there's gas there and back. There's dinner while we're over there. You know, you're not taking a fucking sack lunch. You know what I mean? Like you're going out to dinner
No.
with the boys. I'm not. You know, we're not going overboard or anything. I don't typically drink, so I might have a glass of your finest virgin Cuba Libre, or
Good.
Coca Cola to the layman. Um, but it just kind of it's so expensive to gig now. It's so difficult to gig now. It's so inconvenient to gig now, unless you're a big band.
Mm.
We are a well-respected local band that has a very cool following of a certain demographic of people, right? Um, Rock listeners and tattooed types and whatever
Yay.
people that people that I don't like typically click with
Hey.
on the regular. No, but you and I both listen to soul music. Like let's not pretend like we're
Oh,
constantly
fuck yeah,
listening to
dude.
rock, because we don't. Like I'm listening to
Yeah.
R&B, I'm listening to soul, I'm listening to jazz. I don't give a shit about what's
Mm.
popping in rock at the moment. I just make it. I don't listen to it. So like it's kind of hard to click with our demo, and like and I'm not sitting here saying we're above anyone, because we're not. Like it's humans are humans, and that's just how that goes. But like everyone's taste is subjective, etc. But the people that
Mm.
like us, there's a very defined demographic. So it's your sort of 25 to 45 rock FM listeners, and then people that are affiliated with Jordan, or all the weird people that are affiliated with Chris, or the even older people that are affiliated with Brian. I'm
The
just
weird
very lucky
people
that I
like
was
Chris that are
raised.
affiliated with Chris.
Yeah, but it's
Marry me, Crispy.
but then marry me crispy. And then because I was raised very antisocially, as you well know,
Mm.
I don't really have a lot of friends, man. So I just rock up and do my job. We were talking about how oxymoronic it was in the chat before, about how so I'm paycheck to paycheck, right? I'm a paycheck to paycheck guy, and I mentioned that our tickets for the upcoming
Preach.
Halloween show might be a bit egg benny, because they're $20. You get four bands. It's local. It's an up-class venue here in Masterton. We're trying it out for the first time, plus a booking fee of $3.25 or something. So it's $23.25 or something, whatever it ends up being. I said in the group chat that might not appeal to the paycheck to paycheckers, because, to be honest with you, if I wasn't in one of the bands, I wouldn't have $23 or a single fuck to spare to come out to something like that, because that wouldn't tickle my fancy. And
Yeah.
the message I immediately got back was basically like, well, paycheck to paycheckers aren't really our biggest clientele. And I said, you know what, that's a really good point, because if we're the 25 to 45 demographic, a lot of those people already have a steady job, and they're on their way into something a little bit more, like affluent as they get older. So people are buying those tickets, people are buying that merch, but that also means we're even further away from our demographic.
Yeah.
The oxymoronic nature of it is that I am a paycheck, like a paycheck to paychecker, providing a professional skill to a group of non-paycheck to paycheckers who don't know how to do my professional skill in the most part.
Yeah.
Like obviously there's guitarists in the crowd and whatever else, people that like have played in the past or play recreationally or whatever, but people that come to see a band of and this is going to sound very, very arrogant, but like the proof is unfortunately in the pudding, or fortunately in my case, that Battle of the Bands winners, whatever else, that we are a very good band. So like it's not like they're coming out to see a shit band and they're paying
Yeah.
X amount for a shit band. So it's the swings and roundabouts with it. I just thought it was very oxymoronic, that it's like it's all well and good for me to like scrape money together for milk and bread at the end of my fortnightly cycle of pay, but
Yeah.
I'll go out and do this professional skill for people who really enjoy my music, and will still bitch and moan about having to pay like $20, but they get like 4 bands. Like I might see a few shekels out of that. There's 4 people in the band. There's 3 other bands, plus there's things like venue hire and all that kind of stuff on top. Where we're paying a sound
Yeah.
guy. Like we make virtually nothing off merch at all because we buy it all ourselves first. It's just like I think the last gig, the Master Bowl gig, before we went up to record at the
Great gig.
lab, great gig. But I think I might have made like $40 out of that for
I got
all of
more
my
than that in a
promotion,
tattoo voucher.
bro. Like, and that's the tattoo voucher you won, right? So that's like
I didn't use
I,
it.
I might have made 40 to $50 out of it. That is promotion over the course of 6 weeks. That is hours of my time creating social media content. That is me getting there early, helping with load in, building the stage, setting up the lights, doing the sound check, waiting around. I was on the door that night for like 3 hours or whatever it was. I was bringing people in, scanning their tickets, yada, yada, yada. And, and then we get up on stage and we play our hour, we play our hearts out, we headline the show. People are jumping, they're having a good time. And then we shell out all the money and whatever. So because we got given recording time in Auckland, we had to pay for our own travel and accommodations and all that kind of stuff. So 80% of that money went out to stuff that was out of our control. We were lucky enough to not have to pay venue hire on that. We still had to pay for security and sound and lights and yada, yada, yada. We managed to just scrape through with a comms and travel, which was just gas and an Airbnb for the 4 of us. And then I think we ended up with 40 schmeckles out of it, maybe 50 at a stretch, once we paid the other
Rough.
bands as well. And this Halloween
That
gig
is
is
rough.
looking very, very similar in that respect. So I don't know. I'm at a point where I'm sort of just a little bit like, it costs me nothing to make social media. I get not the same amount of gratification out of it, like self gratification. I probably get 50%. Like if a video pops off, it feels really good. Like it's an addictive quality about making content. When a video pops off, you feel really good. When you play a gig and the crowd goes nuts, it feels exponentially better than that.
Yeah.
But the effort outweighs the reward sometimes. And I'm just hoping this run of shows doesn't show that. Like I think they're going to try and put us on last at Lovelands like they did last time. And it ends up
Yeah.
like 2 o'clock in the morning. You just start at like, oh no, one
Oh
o'clock in the morning
fuck
we
that.
started. Yeah, exactly. Played for an hour, packed down, said goodbye and thank you, and whipped everyone's nuts like we're supposed to. Didn't get paid for that show. Drive back to Masterton, get home at 3:30 to 4 o'clock in the morning if I'm lucky. And then on that particular Sunday, my wife was also working. So I'm getting up 3 hours later or 4 hours later, if I'm lucky, to make sure that my kids have breakfast and yada yada yada. So
Yeah.
it does, make you think, is it worth it at this point in my life? I turn 30 next year. Should I pivot and go to something that's going to make me some money? Like maybe go harder in the social media content, maybe look to other content creators around me and see how they monetize. Maybe do some solo shows. Like I'm planning on putting a solo album out in 2025. Early
Shit.
insider there. It's a psychedelic soul album, and me and Brian are currently working on it together, and it's going to be out of this world. It's going to be an incredible album.
Is it gonna be?
Um,
Will there be vocals or will it just be instrumental?
oh no, bro, it's me. Of course, it's going to be vocals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like
I
it's
wasn't knocking it. I was like, because I'm a slut for an instrumental album. Like I listen to a lot of Hermanos Gutierrez. I listen to
oh yeah, yeah.
Opeth. Um, fuck yeah, those
Oh
are some
bro, no,
great
look,
albums too.
yeah, no, look. Brian's guitar work is enough to make anyone lose their minds anyway. So,
He should release a solo
um,
instrumental album.
he really should. I'm pretty sure he's got like some sort of salsa samba album out there in the ethos somewhere. Like honestly, dude, like he's been alive for a very long time. He's got music backlogged that shouldn't be backlogged that
Good.
he showed us. That's just wildly amazing. So I'm looking forward to working with him on it. But It does, yeah. Like, so it kind of, I've taken this and I've run with it for about 15 minutes, but I'm just very passionate about this one subject because it's very near and dear to my heart because it does, like, I everything I throw myself into, I throw all of myself into it, and I've received really good results virtually every time. So like, it's
Yeah.
if I put stock into social media, I blew up eventually because I figured out how the algorithm worked and I created a niche for myself. The music thing. We won Battle of the Bands last year, and previous to that, I've represented my country a couple of times as a vocalist. You know, like these sorts of things where serendipity has followed me and put me in the right place at the right time for me to achieve these fantastic things, which is great because I put effort in and then I get the results in return.
Yeah.
But one thing that is yet to follow me with all of this serendipity is the financial side. You know, like
Mm.
YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagrammers in the States, they have that Lamborghini money. You know, musicians, vocalists, whatever, over in the United States or the UK or whatever, are able to pivot and use their talents in order to have some sort of financial push behind them in order to keep them going.
Yeah.
It's almost non-existent here. It's almost completely non-existent here.
Yeah.
I got a notification yesterday that I posted as a story, and it was like, "Hey, Meta would like to congratulate you on your recent form with your reels. Keep up the good work." So I screenshotted it and put it as a story,
Yeah.
and I tagged Meta and hid the tag, and was just like, "Hey, Meta and TikTok, your pats on the back mean absolutely nothing to me. Please start paying content creators what we're worth." Because everyone's sick of it. You know, like I'm bringing
Yeah.
people to your platform. I'm creating content to keep eyes on your platform. I'm not getting anything in return. Even if the the CTM was crap, sorry, CTR. Even if the CTR was crap, you know, I would still make the content in order for that little financial kickback. I think in
Yeah.
total I've made like 75 US off of Meta, and I've been a consistently viral content creator for almost 3 years.
Mm.
Where's the maths? You know, like
Yeah.
one of the notes I had on here actually that we didn't go through during the social media chat was Talk Tour reaching the number 5 spot on Spotify rankings. And I tried to watch an episode, but it's basically just any episode is her trying to come up with one liners to get herself clipped again. Like she'll have
Yeah.
some dog shit take on something really fucking random, and she's hoping to get clipped, but no one gives a fuck anymore. But I think people like the reason why it's reached number 5 is because people are going for the sheer morbid curiosity. Like, oh,
Absolutely.
what could this woman have to say that is so important to me that I would not go and listen to Call Her Daddy, or dudes tuning in being like, oh, she's talking to this famous person. I wonder if they have interesting conversations about how the world works. Oh no, that they're not doing that. I'll go and listen to Joe Rogan, or I'll go and listen to, I don't know, what else have I been listening to recently? Not a huge amount, but like, you know, like sort of the, you know, aliens, archaeology, history, all of that, you know,
Yeah.
vaccination-y to anti-vaccination-y type conversations that Joe Rogan seems to have with people. Like, um, yeah, you know, it's a hard one. People are going for sheer morbid curiosity, but yeah, I tried to listen to an episode. I genuinely did, and it's just, yeah, she'll say something fucking really out the gate, and it'll be
Yeah.
like it's essentially, and you could see her looking at the camera, you know, like she's begging someone to clip her so that she gets that boost of viral fame again. But like I said in the previous episode, mark my motherfucking words, bro. 2025, no one is going to give a fifth of a shit about fucking Talk to her or Haley, whatever, Haley Welch or whatever. No, that is her name,
Nah.
Haley Welch. So
Already don't.
it's, yeah. No, I know, and
S-
that's the hardest bit
Yeah.
is that keeps getting force fed to us like we're children, but no one cares anymore. You know, like the decline
Yeah.
is coming. It comes for everybody.
Speaking of
Um.
content, because I'm working on my own.
Oh
Shocker,
yeah.
I know. Um. Yeah. No, I've got some ideas in the bank, some
Oosh.
scripts that I'm writing. Um. Yeah. It's just, I guess, just putting it all into action. Because
Yeah, that's probably the main thing.
what I need to do is I need to get a microphone for the PC so I can just record myself playing games. And
Yes.
then I'll use this one for when I record the video. Um, but yeah, so that's coming. But shall we quickly touch on world news? Because I've got some world news.
I also have some world news. So one of the first things I tried to bring it up before, but we ended up jumping into music. Was King Charles not knowing what cling wrap is?
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, that was like, and the fact that he quote unquote shrieked the first time he saw it is actually nuts. Like it's
Yeah, that's some rich, uh, like that's it's not the Mandela effect, but it's like other world, like other reality kind of stuff. It's yeah, it's just some it's different gravy is what that is, because it's like we're so used to that, but it's like some dude that has fingers the size of frankfurters hasn't ever heard of cling wrap or glad wrap as we've called it in past.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think the thing for me is that how white does your privilege have to be where you don't know what secondhand food is or like leftovers
yeah,
are,
yeah,
or at least and credit where credit's due. Well, no, there's no credit due. They're the royals. Fuck them. But if the like they're just served what they've been given, right? So they might not see if it is leftovers that it's been stored elsewhere. But like he was married to Princess Diana, the lady of the people. You know, the chick
mm,
that takes her shoes off and runs in the mother son race at her kid's school and breaks all sorts of protocols because she was the people's princess. And he was married to her and still didn't know what cling film is or glad wrap or whatever the fuck you want to call
yeah,
it. Like it's he still doesn't. That's honestly wild to me. But that also could be senility too. Like he might have seen it 100 times, and yeah, like I don't know. It's
mm,
it's it's sensational, but I'm not saying it's not true either.
yeah.
Um,
But
yeah,
yeah,
that was a little bit wild.
here's some sad news. Butterball, the famous Instagram dog. If you've heard of Butterball,
No,
he had his own Instagram page. He was a large golden retriever, and and his owner was he was a Southern man. So every Instagram video of Butterball was him like saying, "Oh, come here, Butterball," and then it's like him shaking his ass because he's so
yeah.
excited. Passed away recently, which is a bit of a shame. Um,
Oh,
he had like hundreds of thousands of followers, and he was old as shit. But man, he was just such a relatable dog. He had that dog in him.
had that dog in him.
But yeah,
Well, the thing is, and this is something that's always kind of sat in the back of my mind. Obviously, with big Instagram pages and stuff like that. Like, 'cause who is the YouTube gamer that passed away recently? Well, not even recently. Like, maybe last year sometime.
YouTube
Had
gamer
cancer.
that passed. Oh, I can't remember. The last
Neither.
YouTube gamer I can think of, I think he was more of a streamer, but it was Etika.
Oh, there was
But
Comic
he was
Storian as well.
big RIP.
Big RIP. But no,
Um,
this was I can't remember his name, and I feel really bad. It's like Lightning Blade or something. Um, oh, I can't remember. But his dad made a YouTube video and was like, "Hey, um, such and such has passed away. Thank you all for being there for him," and yada yada yada. And now those channels just sort of fall into obscurity. Like the fans that were there still get to go back and watch the old content and stuff, but pivoting slightly back to this butterball situation, butterbean,
Technoblade.
butterball,
That yeah, I remember
Technoblade. Thank you.
Technoblade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, pivoting slightly back to the like Dogpool, for instance, has its own has its own Instagram page. When these dogs pass away, there is an unfortunately hilarious market for people who can sell old Instagram accounts to like retain a following, or sorry, obtain a following. Um, and I wonder if these like click farmy type ones, I could start one for Woody. he's the most sad and worrisome looking dog in the world, but he's
Yeah.
very handsome and he shakes
There you go,
hands and sits
worrisome Woody.
cross-legged and stuff. Bro, worrisome Woody would be a viral sensation on Instagram. And then, dude is 8, maybe 9, I think. Give it 4 years, he's built himself a 500,000 follower Instagram channel. What do, my guy? Like, do I sell it?
Yeah.
Do I just
Made the
post up
bag
a
for the family.
RIP and then leave it? Like,
Yeah.
oh man, you put a
But
little
yeah, no,
tombstone in his bio. Like, who
yeah.
knows? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Bit of a sad moment for Butterball. I remember
Yeah.
coming across his videos and just seeing like this huge smiley fat golden, no, it was a Labrador. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
just this absolute treasure has since passed, which is a real
Yeah.
shame.
Big RIP.
Um,
Big RIP
but
to the goodest of boys.
to swing it around,
Boosh.
I came across some interesting news again in the Curtis Connor podcast. The Rock has a special talent.
Oh no.
So for it's a special talent he brings out at like adult parties because when he's in front of kids he turns into Maui and makes his titties bounce and all that sort of carry on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I didn't find out, I came across that The Rock is able to pick up a grape with, and have a guess.
His butt cheeks. I'm gonna go with his
It's
butt
his
cheeks.
ass cheeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick up a
So
grape.
I thought that was really interesting because
The control is
I for one
unreal.
I for one did not think I could not have imagined that before finding that out. But now that I've heard it, I can't get the image out of my head.
Yeah. I'm
So
starting
Curtis
to
Connor
wonder if
came
his
up.
butt cheeks.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if his butt cheeks look like uh, David Hasselhoff's titties in the SpongeBob movie.
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
you
Yeah.
remember? They come, they go
Yeah,
cheat,
yeah. They're like robotic.
like yeah,
Um
and it's very
but
square.
Curtis Connor brought up a really good point because he has his Terramana tequila. Why doesn't he release an edition of wine where like the slogan is all grapes personally picked with the Rock's ass cheeks? That would sell hard.
Bro, there is a market of people that would absolutely drink the Rock's
Yeah,
butt wine, bro. Like that
yeah,
that is incredible. Oh my
yeah. It
god,
would.
that's great.
Yeah, So, a very very good piece of information to end on, I think, because we've been going for
Yeah.
an hour and 25-ish minutes.
I know. I've
Um,
got I've got like 2 or 3 more things if you'll bear with me.
so that outro is just not good enough. No, it's all good. It's whatever.
No, it's not. We'll circle back. We'll circle back. Speaking of sexually explicit things, right? Apparently, Qantas on a flight from Sydney to Tokyo played a sexually explicit movie for the entire plane and not just part of it like they were supposed to. The movie is
Ish.
called Daddy-O, and it's apparently really raunchy, and there was like a bunch of kids and there was like drop down screens, so you didn't get a choice of whether or not you wanted to watch it. So
Fuck
there's
yeah.
like kids on this plane. Bro, I can just imagine the stewardesses piss bolting from one end of the plane to the other, but you can't turn off the screens individually and you can't turn them off all at once. You have to program what's played and essentially you just have to leave it. There's no like emergency switch.
Oh,
So they
that's
had to
unfortunately hilarious.
oh yeah, so for an hour they were just watching essentially softcore porn. And
Yeah.
and in parts it was implied as hardcore. And
Daddy-O,
yeah, they
was
just
it?
had to Daddy-O, bro. Yeah, let me
Right.
Google it so I can stay away from
Yeah.
it.
Is it on
Yeah,
Amazon?
I have no idea. I have no idea. It was on that plane. I can tell you that.
I'll be looking it up so I can
Um,
avoid watching it.
yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, where? So
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
not to
yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
And then the last two. What else? Oh, there was sorry, 3 more things. First thing, apparently the Atlantic Ocean is cooling at record speeds. Like it's dropping in temperatures unseen in the past, and it's actually helping to reverse some of the climate issues that
Huge
people
news.
that the world's facing. That is massive. Like that's actually
That's
amazing.
huge.
I need to do a little bit more research into it. It was kind of like a passing glance type thing, but I thought
So
that was
that
really
means
interesting.
I can ramp up the electricity usage because now that it's cooling down, I'm all good to go.
Yeah,
Let's
basically,
warm
like
up this planet.
it's yeah. Let's
Yeah,
get the fire on in the middle of summer. Fuck it.
yeah.
Um, but
The
yeah,
heat is
so
on
I
right
mean,
now.
I've oh, dude, that was the other thing I was going to tell you about as well. So speaking of climate change, right? I've got a guy at work. I'm not going to say his name. Starts with a J, and I work with him. He
Jared.
is a climate no, he is a climate control officer for the company that I work for, the government company that I work for.
Yeah.
He used to be a marine biologist. And I got onto the subject of the fact that I was going to Australia, and one of the things I was doing was visiting Australia Zoo, and I talked about trying to get the picture with Robert Irwin and yada yada yada. And I'd had my little spiel, and we were sort of chatting about this and that, and he goes, and it was a moment of silence. He goes, "You know, I don't really tell a lot of people this, but I was supposed to be on that boat that day." And I was like, "What boat?" And he's like,
No
"The boat, the
way.
last, the Stingray boat, the Steve Irwin boat."
Fuck.
And apparently, so he
Why
was
wasn't
like,
he?
he was this. I'll tell you why. Um,
Okay.
so his mate is one of the other leading marine biologists who was on the boat with Steve when it happened, and he called Jay and said, "Hello, Jay. Would you like? I'm going to do this thing with Old Crikey, which is apparently what they called him. I'm doing this thing with Old Crikey. Uh, in fuck, where was it? Somewhere in Queensland." And he was like,
Wasn't it off the Gold Coast?
um, "Yeah, it was somewhere around there. I'm pretty sure. Like it's yeah. I can't remember what
No, I
reef it
think it was.
was, but
Wasn't it further north? I think it was like by the
uh,
Great Barrier
on,
Reef, wasn't it?
honestly, your guess is as good as mine. I don't have Google
Okay.
handy, but like I know it was in Queensland somewhere. And he was doing a schools tour talking about marine life and all that kind of stuff, and he was right in the middle of it, and he couldn't get out of it. He was in New South Wales, and he was like, "Look, I would love to, and send my regards to Steve and yada yada yada, but I just can't make it this time." And he was like, "Oh, yep, sweet as." And then the very next day, that afternoon, the same dude rings him back, and he's clearly been fucking crying, yada yada yada. And he's like, "Look, man, I'm gonna have to level with you. I don't know if you've seen the news yet, but yeah, Steve passed away from those injuries." And yeah, he couldn't believe it because he was like, "I was supposed to be on that boat, you know, like not that I could." He followed up. He was like, "Not that I could have done anything, because when the stingray flipped around and smacked him in the heart, Steve immediately pulled it out, like it was a natural reflex to be like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's not supposed to be in there,' and pulled it out." But then once he did that, he looked back up at the guys on the boat and was like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that, eh?" And they all shook their heads, and he's like, "All right, that's okay. It's all right." And like he was being strong for them, and they were all freaking out because like Steve Irwin, national
Fuck.
treasure, barbed through the heart, and he is like in the water, immediately going pale and stuff, but already knows, like he cognitively already knew that he was going to die, and was so apparently so strong for the dudes on the boat. He was just like, "It's all right, guys. I made a mistake. These things happen. I don't have a lot of time. Call an ambulance, I guess." You know, like basically he was just like he'd come to terms with it himself, and then he passed away on the boat because he lost that much blood that quickly. But just what a hero! What a hero!
Yeah.
Like I,
Because I can
and not even
I
in
can
an
imagine
ironic way.
him. I can imagine him in the water in his full khaki gear, boots and all.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. I don't think he would have
yeah,
been in a wetsuit or anything.
nah, khaki. Like, yeah, brown shirt down to the belly button, shorts,
Yep.
work socks, brown boots. I reckon he would have been. I
Have a
reckon he would
go
have
at
been
this.
swimming with all that on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Oh man,
Yeah,
but like
that's
yeah,
rough, man.
because
So
the
now I
dude
can
who
blame
was,
Jay.
well, Jay wasn't even there. Like that's like
Yeah, but if
so
he was
his
there,
marine biologist mate. No, but that's what he said. Is like even if I was there, there was nothing I could have done because his instinct was to just pull it out straight away.
yeah,
Like he
I,
immediately just
I,
went whoop,
yeah,
and then sort of thought about it afterwards and was like, "Ah, shit." Like it would
yeah,
have been okay if it had like pierced a lung maybe or like missed it, but bro,
yeah,
straight through the heart,
straight
like
to the heart.
you're
Yeah,
done, you're cooked.
yeah.
And yeah,
Because
it's kind of the unfortunate side of it, really, isn't it?
yeah, because there's the memes that go around. It's like, if girls could go back in time, they'd go to meet their grandmother, but if boys could go back in time, they'd go to Steve Irwin and say, don't do it. They'd be
Yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah.
sure,
Don't get on
why
that
not?
boat.
Yeah, fuck, I wish, dude.
Um, yeah. I had two more
Crikey.
things. There were movie news things that I was probably should have brought up earlier. First thing, Princess Diaries 3 has been announced. Uh,
It's in the works, yeah.
to to all all the girlies out there, including myself,
I'm excited.
who
Yeah,
loved. Oh, bro, me too. We should go together.
yeah. Same with the Devil
Yeah,
Wears Prada.
definitely
There's
down
a
for that.
sequel for
Oh,
that.
yeah, Devil Wears Prada too. Yeah, and
Fuck
if
yeah.
it's not Meryl Streep, I'm not interested. Like Anne Hathaway can come
I
back.
think
That's
it's the
fine.
three of them. I think it's Anne
Oh yeah.
Hathaway, Meryl Streep, and Emily Blunt. Yeah,
Oosh, what about a bit of Stanley Tucci?
I'm sure.
Oosh.
I'm sure he will. Have
Yeah,
you
has
seen?
to be right. Like,
Speaking of Stanley Tucci, have you actually seen his old Levi jeans commercial?
no, is he hot as?
Damn, it is, bro. It is sensual, dude. He was
Yeah,
ripped,
like it's.
and he looks good
Yeah,
in jeans.
back in his
And
day.
like, and it was back in the day. Like, he didn't even like. He was already thinning, but man, take me now. You know,
Just a stud muffin, bro.
take me
Yeah,
now, but
that's.
keep on the Levi's.
You can leave your jeans on.
Yeah,
Joe Cocker's forgotten hit.
yeah,
And the second thing was, and the last thing I had actually was, the Joker the Joker 2 is apparently shithouse.
yeah.
I haven't seen a single positive review about it.
Yeah, there's been some drama because Todd Phillips didn't actually want anything to do with it.
Right.
Because the first one was super successful at the box office. Was had positive reviews, but the second one, like, yeah, apparently he just didn't want anything to do with it, and it's just like it's just awful. Like, it doesn't really
Yeah.
make any sense. Apparently Lady Gaga did a good job, but she's actually a decent actress. I mean, like, she has won an Oscar, so.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, apparently,
she did kill that
yeah,
other lady and take her place, but there's that too.
yeah, but apparently it's awful. So I won't be going to watch
Hmm.
it. Because I remember watching the first Joker movie and that was awesome.
Oh, I was in awe. I was in awe of that movie. I really was.
Because
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because at the end, because apparently, spoilers, at the end of the second movie, because Arthur Fleck goes to jail, he meets up with another prisoner, this random psychopath prisoner, and then Arthur Fleck gets shanked and stabbed and killed, and then the other psychopath walking away carves a smile into his face, and then it's yeah, so then it's like the Joker will
yuck.
return and the Joker will return in Joker 3, Electric Boogaloo, or whatever it's
Gross.
going to be called.
Yeah, Joker 3 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Oh, the fan service is disgusting if that's the case. No, I'm not even going to bother. Yuck.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So,
Anyway, bit of a
that's
sour
terrible.
note. But a bit of a sour note to end on. That
I
was
mean-
all I had. Oh shit. No, I had one more thing.
All right.
Krabby Patties. Krabby
Oh, yeah, I
Patties are
said that.
finally
Yeah,
available
Wendy's.
at Wendy's. That is
I hope
we
she's
don't have a
working that
Wendy's
day.
here. That I had the same conversation with somebody. I can't remember who it was. And I was like, I can't remember the last time I went to Wendy's, and then I had this massive revelation of like, oh my god, that's right. So for context, listeners, if you've come this far in the episode, I have to applaud you because we have been waffling. But
Commend you, yeah.
yeah, what did I say? Did I say commend you?
I think you just said well done or something like that. I don't know.
Ah, okay, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, no, I rocked up to a Wendy's and I, in my immature mind, asked the speaker box if Wendy was working today, and the speaker box lady said no, sorry, and I pissed myself laughing.
Yeah, because we
Not
did that
really
in
sure
Hamilton.
why. Yeah, it just hit me right at the right time, and you obviously had to be there. It's not funny now. To
awesome.
Louis, it wasn't funny. Originally, I think he was just more laughing at my hyena laugh because when I get going, I get really high pitched.
No, because I asked in the drive-through. I
did you?
asked. Yeah, I asked if
and
Wendy
I
was
lost my
working
shit.
today, and then because you couldn't say because you're too busy laughing, and then I asked it.
That's right.
And then
Okay,
Mum
yeah,
told
yeah.
us off. Shout out, Mum.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Maybe it was Mum that had the shits with us.
Yeah,
But yeah, so
she
Krabby
told us
Patties are
off
finally
asking if
available.
Wendy was working, and she wasn't
Yeah.
that rude bitch.
No, I know, rude.
Yeah.
But yeah, Krabby Patties are finally available.
Yeah.
So I'm making a pilgrimage. I think there's one in Palmy. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's one in Welly actually, like at all.
No.
But I know there's one in Palmy, so I'm going to be making a mission over there. But that's all I had, and we're
Yeah.
closing in on like an hour and a quarter, hour and a half. Sorry. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to sign off. I think we're going to sign off.
I think
Uh,
it's for the best. I think it's for the best.
yeah.
I
All
am
right.
gonna
Well,
go pick
I'll
up
end it as
grapes
I
with my
always
ass
do.
cheeks.
And I am going to go and buy a Krabby Patty and ask Wendy if she
Yeah.
is working.
If she's
Peace and
available.
have a good day.
Yeah, catch you guys later. It's been good.
Where's
It's
the
been a good
Stay
catch
Golden?
up.
What are you depriving? You're just depriving these people of Stay Golden.
Oh, I'm kind of over it. you know, it's
Maybe we should
I
just
feel
end it
like
with an
it's
oosh.
Osh.
Oosh.